Welcome back. Option 2. Again, I've never read this author before, and the title of the book is called Two Nights. Chapter 1. My right-hand neighbor thinks I'm crazy, so she brings me cheese. I heard the 1-2 crunch of her boots on the path. A pause, then the oyster shells crunched again. I lifted a corner of the towel covering my kitchen window. She was already 5 yards off, a shadow-lace smudge among the live oaks. 6 years, and I still didn't know her name. Didn't want to. Had no desire to exchange recipes or comments on the tides. I cracked the door, snagged the plastic wrap package, and shoved it into the fridge. Truth is, I don't mind the cheese. What I hate are the sharp little eyes plumbing my soul. That and the pity. And the goats. When the wind is right, the bleat bullies into my dreams, and I'm back in Hellman with the blood and the dust. Or maybe I'm reading the old gal wrong. Maybe the cheese is a bribe so I don't murder Billy or Nanny. My left-hand neighbor hanged himself from the end of his pier. His dog curled up and died by his head. Double suicide. Maggot jamboree by the time the bodies were found. Arthur was a wood carver, Prince a collie. I prefer their silent company. Fits by two-pronged plan for life. Need no one, feel nothing. I ran 6 miles and put in time with my free weights. A beer and a sandwich for lunch. Then I spent the afternoon shooting cherry wine cans off a dune at Gray Bay. The beach was deserted and not far away. Nothing is. Goat Island is a skinny strip of sand just a monkey spit wide, uninhibited until Henry and Blanche Holloway rolled over to escape the stresses of 1930s Charleston. Legend has it they spent decades in a hole covered with driftwood and palm fronds. Now that sounds warp speed cycle to me. But Henry and Blanche had one thing right. For solitude, Goat Islands is the cat's meow. Even today, there's no ferry, no paved road, ergo no cars or trucks. No access except by private boat. Outsiders rarely find reasons to come. The few scrappy residents live in a cottage cobbled together from the wreckage ignored or tossed ashore by Hurricane Hugo. My porch roof is the ass end of a disemboweled rowboat. Goat's Lady Shed started life as Arthur's latrine. Don't get me wrong, I don't live hole in the ground, all natural baddie. I've got electricity and a septic tank, all the advantages. The downside to Goat is the spring mosquitoes, some large enough to carry off St. Bernards. By 6, the bloodsuckers were organizing into squadrons preparing to strike. Over and out for Moy. I was home rubbing aloe on bites when the bell above the stove jangled and it jangled its jerry-ridged warning. The moths did their frenzied dance in my chest. I dug the shotgun from my duffel, thubbed shells into the chamber, and crept to a window. The sun was low, flaming the waterway orange and making me squint. Far below, a figure crouched on my deck, secure in line. Both human and boat were featureless, black cutouts against the tangerine glow. My grip tightened on the stock, ready to pump. The figure straightened and headed my way. Male, barrel-chested, not big, but muscular in a scrawny arms, legs way. I recognized the confident drill sergeant's stride, the contour of the ragged Tilly hat. Not vintage, just old. Shit. I snapped into action. Ammo out and into the duffel, guns into the closet. Liquor bottles, glasses, and dirty dishes under the sink. Yesterday's clothes and flip-flops heave ho into the bedroom. His knock was hard enough to rattle the screen in its jam. One last look around, then I hurried to undo the inner door locks. 2, then the deadbolts. He stood with hands on his hips, looking left towards the marsh. His eyes were blue, his face weathered as the month of March. "What's wrong?" Mouth dry. No one ever came uninvited. No one ever came. "Something's got to be wrong for me to drop by?" Gravely gruff. "Of course not." Plastic smile molded my face. "You usually give a heads up." "How? Send a pigeon?" I said nothing. "You gonna leave me out here till I need a transfusion?" I lifted the hook and stepped back. Bo entered, gaze skimming, a cop gaze. One spin around the cottage, then it settled on me, running the same critique I resent in my neighbor. The scar burned an itchy path below my right eye. I didn't recognize the boat, concentrating on normal. Getting the gel, coat repaired, but what? You were maybe expecting Bowie? He died. Yeah? Gonna offer a man a beer? I got 2 Palmetto Ambers from the fridge and we moved to the living room, a small hectagon accessed through a wood trim arch. Ceiling fan, sofa, 2 thoroughbred chairs, 3 beat-to-hell tables, no need for decor. Only Bo and one other were allowed in my home. Bo dropped into the sofa, slogged off the hat, and took a long pull of his beer. His hair was gray and buzzed to the scalp. Had been since I known him. Probably since his mama first shaved it with clippers at the kitchen table. I sat opposite, knees jutting, feet under my bum. The 5-window view wrapped us like an IMAX feature, the Atlantic seaboard. A picture formed in my head. Bo with a younger man's face, hiding his frustration, his pride, not pleading but close, asking a fellow cop to give his foster kid yet another break. Red, blue pulsing his badge and the honky-tonk shack at his back. Boo raised his right ankle to his left knee, cleared his throat, levered the foot up and down several times. Had an interesting call today. Eyes on the top side as old as the hat. Lady named what a name. Opaline Drucker. That triggered a ping in some remote brain chip. Who is she? I'll leave the telling of that for after. After what? Hearing me out. Tone a million miles from drop by casual. Miss Drucker has a problem. I think you can help her. Why would I want to do that? Bo took another swig, then set the bottle on the floor. Uncrossing his legs, he leaned forward and looked me full in the eye. You're in a bad place, Sonny. I'm happy as a clam out here. Arms uplifted to emphasize the level of my joy. We both know that's not what I mean. What do you mean? Look, I get it. You overreacted. You killed the bastard. PSL ruled it a justified shoot. Kurt, the incident was the final straw for the Professional Standards Office, Charleston PD's version of internal affairs. The end of my career in law enforcement and ancient history. Damn straight it was. Bo flicked dirt from his jeans, too faded to qualify as blue. Maybe a bug. The scumbag nearly took out your eye. No way I ride a desk. Cheeks burning. Hell no. I'd have quit too. You here to remind me what a loser I am? First the court, then the job. Newsflash, I already know. Meaner than I intended, or not. Knock it off. Well, get to the point. It's been 6 years. Ah, you come to enforce some kind of self-pity statute. Arms wrapping my chest and tucking my hands into my pits. Oh wait, you're off the force too. Bo breathed deeply, exhaled through his nose, chose his words. Chose his words. You can't hide on this island talking to no one, doing God knows what to yourself. Yeah, I can. You've withdrawn from the whole goddamn human race. I have a bestie that lives in my bedside table. Want to meet him? See? There you go. The least little pressure and out comes the jokes. I have you? I'm about all you have. And you think I'm nuts. God knows I did. Of course you're not nuts. Frustrated, trying for patience. But you can't just sit out here doing nothing. I run, I shoot, I fish, I read. Gut rolled tight as an armadillo under threat. It's not normal. I've tried normal. Too many rules, too much constraint, too much rage. I'm a big girl. I can own it now. Why are you so goddamn stubborn? It's a gift. I detest explaining myself to Bo, to the therapists with their gentle eyes and non-probing questions that probe. To anyone, I change the subject. What's this got to do with Orphaline Drucker? Orpaline. I think helping her could benefit you. Wow, I'm your new project. Bo ignored that. Drucker's granddaughter's been missing for over a year. Kids run off. They're famous for it. I knocked back some beer. She was only 15. A beat, then Opaline thinks she's been grabbed by a cult. Unbidden, another cerebral barrage. I sent the images to the place where I keep them all buried. A full minute, then I said, let me get this straight. I'm to be this kid's savior because I need saving? Something like that. Both eyes were now blue lasers focused on mine. I stared back, every neuron in my brain ordering retreat. Still, I bit. Where she's being held? No one knows. Silence on our side of the window screens. On the other, animated gold conversations about crabs or fish, maybe trash. I don't know shit about finding MPs, I said. You were SERE. Bo used the military acronym for survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. That's different. It was, but I got his point. And how was it you were chosen to teach those courses? Lottery. Right. And the other intel duties we don't talk about? Air hooking quotes around the purposely vague noun. I took another swallow. The curtains lifted on a breeze smelling of salt and pluff mud. The room crept a few nanometers from orange towards amber. Other memories bubbled up, uneaten bologna sandwiches, blown off guitar lessons, a lipstick-ravaged wall, once painted pink to please a teenage girl. Bo tried hard the 3 short years that he had me. Never got a thank you from his surly copper-haired ward. Talk about the kid, I broke the silence. Better you get the facts direct from Opaline. A face-to-face meet? Blood pulsing in the little shadows beside my collarbone. You can use my car? Taking my silence as consent, Bo pushed to his feet and handed me a blue-lined page ripped from a spiral notebook, eyes pointed elsewhere. I flipped it onto the table beside me. When Bo was gone, I tossed the paper in the wastebasket by my bathroom sink. An icy shower, then I armed the security system, checked for creatures outside my window, and hit the rack. Sleep was evasive, which is normal for me, but this was different. I spent so long trying not to think about the past, about those 2 nights, that my insomniatic mind tends to focus on the present. Buy butter, clean the guns, change the porch bulb. That night, I was visited by a million ghosts. Experts say it's healing to contemplate loss, to talk about it. Bullshit. Revisiting the past makes me nauseous and costs me rest. After hours of futile twisting and sweat-damp sheets, I got up, padded to the bathroom, and dug bow paper from among the jumble of tissues, Q-tips, and wadded up hair. A glance at the scrawled address, then I crumpled and returned the page to the discards of my daily toilet. The living room was dancing with shadows and still as a tomb. I settled on a couch and lowered my lids. Like 5 black eyes, the hexagon windows watched me force my mind blank. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 1. That was a tough read. I don't know. This author and her writing style is going to have me tongue-tied because, you know, you get used to saying when somebody talking, saying he said or somebody said, but after somebody says something, it's that person's thought or an explaining of a feeling. Like after they say, so what is it about? It's like, after that, it's like, oh, the inside of me is this. And I'm like, I ain't used to that. But I don't know if she's going to be like that throughout the whole book. But anyway, that's option 2. Again, this is the book, 2 Nights. Okay, see you in the next option.